Hey there. This is going to be my personal review of the Viking Slant shock cutout. As you can see, I bought the quick release brackets so that they're not permanently mounted to my bike, and I'm going to go over the pros and cons of these bags, as well as the installation and the pros and cons of that. The bike that I'm putting them on is a 2009 Harley Davidson Dyna Fat Bob. So first off, these bags are pretty heavy duty. Once you've got them unclipped, the Velcro is extremely hard to remove. The lid, but it's going to keep everything nice and dry. So the only downfall to this design is down here. These should be rotated clips to keep them in place, where they're just meant to put little luggage locks, I guess, on them. I got a funny feeling that when I'm riding, that the bottom part of the latch is just going to flap around like that, unless you have it locked in place. That's the only thing that I don't really like about these bags. So when I got these bags, this wonderful throw over bracket was already installed on them, which I don't think they should have. I think that should have been left as, do you want to use these bags as a throw over? Then here you go. You can drill a couple of holes and mount these into your bag so that you don't have either permanent or quick release brackets to mount on your fender struts. But I thought it was useless to have them already installed, because now if you look inside, I got two holes there and there that I need to fill so that water doesn't get into them when I'm riding. The other thing is that the instructions weren't really clear on how to mount these, the brackets anyways. And see the two outer screws, the one there and the one there. Those were the screws that were in on the bracket when they came out of the box, and so I figured those are the screws that I needed to mount it to. It doesn't tell you that in the instructions. It just tells you to drill some holes and mount the bracket to the bag. So I kept those screws there. Your best bet, I'll show you the other bag, but if you use the fender washers that came with the kit on the outside, and line that up directly touching the brackets, those will do just fine. So with the instructions, they're not really great to follow, and like I said, these things, pretty sure they're just going to flap in the wind unless I tie them down or put a lock on them, which I think is going to look ugly. But other than that, these bags were built, and they were built to look like a leather bag and be as hard as the fiberglass ones that you can get. So if you take a look at the inside, you would think there was a lot of room in there, but really it isn't. Like, this is the large bag that they make with the with the slant cutout. I thought with the 7-inch opening I'd be able to fit my half helmet in there, and it doesn't fit. It'd fit if I like forced it in there, but then you got all those fasteners down there that you're just going to scratch the living crap out of your helmet. So get a helmet lock, put it on your handlebars. Don't try and put it in these bags, like, if you like the look of your helmet anyways. There's a lot of room for everything else in there, just not a helmet. Next, I want to go over the wonderful bag of hardware that this came with. Firstly, it's not stainless. Everything in here is just zinc plated. What I suggest is throwing out all this and going buy yourself some good quality stainless steel. Also, the other problem is that they're hex heads. Do you really want hex heads sticking out on your bike when you're not riding with your bags? Like, those would look ugly. I've got some mounted on my bike, and I'm going to show you that later. But the other problem is that the smallest size that they come with are 3-inch. 3-inch. I don't know whose fender requires 3-inch to get their bags mounted. Okay, I went and bought 2-inch and 2.5-inch. So I got 2.5-inch on the front, 2-inch on the back. Reason being is that the front of my fender strut is a little further away from the fender itself, and it still sticks out a little bit, but the 3-inch, I'm going to show you how those 3-inch fasteners touch my tire. Like, that is just retarded. Some other videos have said cut them down because you don't need them that long. That's fine. You want to use them, you're too cheap to spend 20 bucks on some stainless steel products that are going to look nice on your bike. By all means, use the hardware that came with it. The other problem is that these bushings are way too large for the fasteners. So you stick that in there, look at how much movement that has. It should be like maybe a millimeter tops of give. But that there, when I show you what it looks like mounted on the bike, if you don't mount it perfect in the center, it's going to look ugly. All the quick release hardware came numbered, as you might have seen on the back of the bracket. They're numbered. These numbers have nothing to do with it. I've put one on every corner of my bike, and it doesn't make a difference. They're all identical. So for them to say number 3 goes with slot 3 on the quick release bracket, no, there's no difference. I took a caliper to them to make sure that these were all identical. There's no difference. So having these numbers means absolutely nothing. Word of the wise: just buy some stainless steel. It's going to look so much nicer. I replaced all the hardware on my bags with the same stainless steel, so it cost me $50 extra. So you went and bought a set of Viking bags for what, maybe $400 Canadian, plus $200 for the quick release system. So $600 Canadian. Spend the extra 50 bucks and get some nice hardware. See that? Those are the hex heads. You think that looks nice when you're riding without your bags on? Not me. Over on this side are the stainless ones that I bought. Much nicer looking. Now I'm going to try and show you what that 3-inch bolt looks like coming through the fender. You see that there? Now if I hit a bump, I'm pretty sure that bolt is just going to tear out my sidewall. The front one's not that bad, but that there, I'm sorry. Come down too hard on that fender, and that's it. Say goodbye to your tire. Once you got everything ready to install your bags onto your bike, everything else is pretty simple. Just line them up in the holes, slide it in, and lock it in place. The only issue that I find is that the lock on the bag and the lock for the quick release are identical keys. They're not keyed the same, but they're identical keys. So if you see there, I've just drilled a little hole in the key that goes with the quick release, so I don't get them confused and get mad when I'm trying to get into my bag. The other issue is that in order to put them on, the key needs to be in the lock. So the key does not come out of the lock until you've locked it in place and it's on your bike for good, right? Then you got to unlock it, and the key's got to stay in there to remove the bag. So by doing that, you could end up breaking off your key fob for your bike, breaking your other key for the lid. I would suggest getting a different keychain, something that you keep in your pocket aside from being attached to your ignition keychain. But that there is probably the worst part of the design. But that's it. It's as easy as it gets. The only issue I have with this setup I got a funny feeling that they're going to vibrate. Oh, and remember, when you're installing those fasteners, use Loctite. It's a Harley Davidson, for crying out loud. The thing's going to vibrate. You don't use Loctite, good luck on keeping your bags. All in all, I'm pretty happy with them. I mean, Viking does make some good products. They'll serve the purpose. Makes my bike look nice. Whether you keep them on or off. But I don't know if I needed the shock cutout or not. Maybe if I was hard mounting them and leaving them on for good, then the shock cutout would have come in handy. But that there, I'm guessing I could have got away with having the straight bag without the shock cutout. But to each his own. That's the Viking Slant with a shock cutout on a 2009 Harley Davidson Dyna Fat Bob.